Welcome to the Selling to Corporate podcast, where we're going to be challenging your sales beliefs around selling to corporate organizations and help you increase your bottom line profits every single month. I am Jessica Lorimer, your sales expert and guide in this world of selling to corporate companies, skyrocketing your company sales and making the impact that you really want in the world. Now, don't forget, if you do enjoy the show today, please do head over to iTunes and leave us a review. But enjoy this episode, and I am really looking forward to sharing some epic sales wisdom with you. Hey, we are here in July. I'm excited. Since the last time we have spoken, I feel like we speak on the podcast. I have had and recovered from COVID. For anyone who listened to my last episode, it turns out I did not just have a cold and sound like Barry White. Actually, I had the vid. It was my third time for the win having COVID. Pretty disgusting. Yeah, I didn't enjoy it all that much. If I'm honest, I would rather not have it again. Just throwing that out there to whoever's listening is that actually COVID and Jess do not mix. But we move. And as ever, I continue to take action and do the very bare minimum each day when I'm sick. Thank you very much for scheduled content and all of that good stuff that happens. But I am excited to bring to you today's episode because on today's episode, we are talking about the top 5 reasons that you should join the C-suite this summer. And I know that you'll be listening to this thinking, but Jess, is this one long sales pitch? And I'm going to tell you, yes, it is and it isn't, right? There are a few things that I want to preface this episode with. And the biggest and most important thing is that I had so many messages after my LA wrap-up episode. I got lots and lots, genuinely, of messages from you guys telling me how much you enjoyed that episode. And there are a few different things that seem to resonate with people. One was this idea around being open and transparent, around having good, mutually beneficial conversations and talking transparently about things that matter, like sales. Another thing that resonated with a lot of people was this idea of spotting opportunities. And I had a lot of messages from people in the UK specifically about that and saying, actually, it's really nice to have conversations about spotting opportunities because in Britain, we just don't always look for opportunities. We tend to be a bit more cynical about life and, how things can work. Then I had messages from people who just said, actually, LA just sounds like a phenomenal place. And you've either made it so that I want to go, or you have reminded me that I need to go back. And for those of you who are going to be taking LA trips because of me, you will love it. Doesn't come with a money back guarantee, but you will love it. It is brilliant and it is fully the land of opportunity. So if you do end up going to LA, please tell me about it and send me pictures because I am absolutely obsessed. I now want to be that person who winters in LA and around the house, hilariously, have developed my own LA character voice. So when Owen asked me to do things before he left to go on a work thing, I would answer him in my LA voice. And apparently it's not a very good rendition, so I won't force it on you on the podcast. But just so you know, it's there. If you ever come to a live event, maybe I'll bring it out. You never know. The important thing about this episode is that because the LA wrap-up resonated with so many of you, and so many of you talked about this idea of opportunity and how refreshing it was to have a conversation about opportunities, it got me to thinking about the fact that the C-suite itself, joining the C-suite, is actually a huge, huge opportunity for people in their businesses. And sometimes I think it's really hard to see when an opportunity is presenting itself or when you are being presented with an opportunity. So today I am pointing it out. And you will hear throughout the entire episode how great the program is. But if you've been a long-time podcast listener, you'll have probably heard about that anyway. And you'll have probably heard about it from some of the people who've bought it and come onto the podcast. By the way, we've got some epic case study episodes coming up this month and next. So if you want to hear more stories about it, they're coming. And there are a few reasons why now is a really good time to join the C-suite. So it is open for enrollment. I am going to be talking about it all this episode. I'm going to be giving you 5 key reasons that it is important, and you can also apply those reasons to your business as you wish as well. Let's dive in, because the C-suite is open for enrollment, and there are 5 major reasons that you should join before September the 1st. I'm going to dive in no order of importance at all. We're going to have some reasons for practicality and some reasons that are just good business sense. So the first reason, and probably the biggest impact reason to people who listen to the podcast and anyone considering the C-suite, is that the price is going up. Now, we can have conversations about price all day. And in the internet marketing world, lots of people have conversations about price all the time. And people worry that they're selling things that are too expensive or too cheap or whatever. Here's the business lesson that I'm going to give you from this. I've been running the C-suite officially since 2019. So I opened the first ever C-suite doors for enrollment in 2019. When I started out, I ran it live. I tested it with lots and lots and lots and lots of people who got lots and lots and lots and lots of incredible results. And the price originally for me providing that live support was over £7,000 plus VAT. And then when Liz Truss took over as Prime Minister, very briefly in the UK a couple of years ago, I listened to what everybody had been saying, that they wanted to invest in the C-suite, but that they didn't feel like they could make the huge live investment. And I looked at my business and where I wanted to spend future time. And I looked at my ego, which was screaming at me, don't ever give up live support for the C-suite because you are integral. And I realized that was not the case. Actually, I created a program and a process and templates and FAQs and extensive support within the resource portal that meant that people were implementing it themselves without me. And boy, was that an ego hit. But it did mean that I got to do something amazing. And, I was able to bring out the C-suite self-study in 2021, which was really, really exciting. I think it might have actually been 2022. Gosh, time really does fly around here. Anyway, I brought out the self-study, and the self-study was and has always been priced at £2,000 plus VAT. So £2,000 plus VAT. And over the last couple of years, we have had hundreds of people go through the self-study, hundreds of epic results, some of which you have heard about on the podcast, some of which I have posted in various places on LinkedIn, because we all know that LinkedIn is kind of my home, and others that have been featured in newsletters and in case studies that I've written about. It's been a really, really epic place to be in the self-study. I was talking to my CFO recently, and he was saying to me, this lesson that you have with all of your clients where they need to put their prices up twice a year. And I said, yeah. And he was like, well, it is time. It was kind of one of those Lion King moments, where you feel like you're staring out over the desert and it's like the sun is coming up. You have this really pivotal life moment and music starts playing. I'm imagining something from the Lion King, obviously, but you can imagine what you want. And I thought, yeah, it is time. As of September the 1st, the price for the C-suite, based on the fact that it has been tested for 5 years, that it has got proven results for 5 years, that it has worked both as a live program and as a self-study for 5 years, is finally going up. And I know that £2,000 plus VAT is a significant investment for small business owners. I never shy away from that. I know that a new price will be a significant investment for small business owners. I am okay with that. So please don't worry or feel like you need to drop me a line and say, but Jess, what if you do this and people don't buy anymore? Because honestly, I get emails quite a lot from people who tell me that it's too expensive. They don't want to invest in it. And I'm like, that is totally cool. And, I will always say to people, you have the free podcast episodes. They're brilliant. Go and listen to a few. And inevitably, some people do and end up investing in C-suite because they realize it's going to be a great investment in their business and not an expense. And some people don't. And, we part ways. They hopefully find a different and better path for them. That is the rub, as it were, on the price. It is going to go up. It is going to happen on September 1st. If price has been a factor for you in not joining the C-suite, it does mean that now is the very best time to join, because it isn't going to be this price again. And you will know, if you have listened to the podcast for a while, or been on my newsletter list, I don't do false urgency. So when I say the price is going up, it is going up. It's just one of those things that will happen. It's not false urgency. There will be no tech emergency or me kind of backtracking 6 weeks later and being like, oh, maybe that was a bad decision. Like, I've made this decision now. It is going to happen. This is the date. Consider it your early warning, if you will. And again, the business lesson you can learn here is that it is okay to be transparent about your prices and about any changes with prospective clients. That is not a problem. All right. If they don't like it, that's cool. They can find somebody else. That's also not a problem. We are not attached to prospects. Okay. We are attached to clients because client delivery is ultimately what matters. The second reason that you should join the C-suite before September the 1st is I'm announcing, drumroll. That wasn't very fancy. Obviously, probably Scott will ad-lib something in there. But in case he doesn't, consider that was a drumroll. We have a September sprint coming up, and I am super excited about it. To put this into context for you, earlier in the year, in April, I ran a live sprint for the C-suite, and it was brilliant. And I genuinely did not expect to have as much fun as I did, but I did. It exceeded all of my expectations in terms of joy for me, in terms of results for our clients, and it was just one of the best things I've done this year. With that in mind, I am going to be running a September sprint for the C-suite. So for anybody who joins before September the 1st, you are going to get free access to the September sprint. And the September sprint is going to be 6 weeks of me setting weekly tasks inside a Facebook group. It's also going to be weekly group implementation Zoom sessions directly with me. And it's also going to be 6 weeks of me answering questions inside a Facebook group. So if you want to kickstart your C-suite experience, that is going to be an epic way to do it. If you've ever thought, I just want to get some Jess in my life and get her eyes on my business, on my lead generation messaging, or on my strategy, or whatever it is that you're looking at, get in the sprint. If you haven't heard about the results from the April sprint, go and listen to a couple of episodes in the back catalogue, because we got some phenomenal results. As a collective, they booked tons of business development calls. It was absolutely incredible. We had 12 proposals, I think, go out, which was absolutely epic. And we had sales made during the 6 weeks from people who had never sold to corporates successfully before. If you are considering joining and you have been thinking, oh, it's a self-study, maybe I won't get into the habit of motivating myself to do the work, I need some additional accountability, I won't know anyone in the group, the September sprint is your start. You will have built-in buddies to be doing the sprint with, which will be awesome. You will have weekly tasks prescribed by me, and you will get the opportunity to ask questions in the weekly Zoom implementation call. And I will be reviewing bits and bobs in the Facebook group as well. So it's going to be absolutely lit, as the kids would say. I'm definitely not cool enough to say that. Again, the business lesson you learn here is it is absolutely okay to delight your clients. And I had genuinely such a pleasure running the April sprint that I'm ready to do it again in September. That will be the last one of the year, because I will be tired. But in September, I will be renewed because I'm taking August off. So yay! I'm going to be chilling out. Owen is actually going to be home for his work thing, having 3.5 weeks off in August. And I am absolutely excited about it. Feels like such a baller move to take 3.5 weeks off in August. Prime summer holiday time. I'm going to go to Whitby and have a day out. It's going to be amazing. September sprint, definitely a good time. Third reason that it's a good time to join the C-suite before September the 1st is that September is the best month of the year to sell to corporate companies if you know how. And there are some of you who will be thinking, Jess, you're probably just saying this because you want us to join before September the 1st. And dear listener, I refer you back to my podcast episodes from 2020, 2021, 2019, where I talk about the fact that September is the best time of the year to sell to corporates and why. And there are lots and lots of reasons that September is the best time of the year to sell to corporates. However, and I say this on those episodes too, the caveat is it is only the best time of the year to sell to corporates if you know what you're doing and if you have a process. Sometimes people can say to me, but Jess, I'm just going to wait for September. I'm going to see what happens then because you've told me that September is the best time. And I say very kindly, that is wonderful. But if your existing sales process is not working now, it's not going to work in September. Just because companies want to buy doesn't mean you're going to create predictable, steady income. In fact, what it can do is be really disheartening if you end up not selling and you're thinking, oh, but I was waiting on September. I put all my eggs in that basket. Or it can put you into feast or famine if you don't know how to recreate that in other months of the year. September is an absolutely wonderful time of the year to sell to corporate organizations if you know how, if you know what you're doing, if you've got a proven sales process, if you've got the motivation, the accountability to do it. And that is what we're providing in the sprint, in the C-suite in September. It is definitely worth joining before September 1st and getting access to the sprint, which starts on September the 9th. So it's absolutely perfect for those of you who've got children who are coming back from summer holiday season, ready to hit the ground running in September. And for those of you who join before September, we also have the amazing summer plan in the portal, which means that you can actually spend the summer rather than kind of stressing about September. You can use the C-suite summer plan inside the portal to know exactly what you need to be doing between now and when we start the sprint. And that way you feel super confident, super excited coming back into September. The tasks will take you an hour to 2 hours a week. So you can have lots and lots of family time, rest time, chill out time. It's exactly what I'm going to be using in my business over the summer so I can take August off. I've just contracted it into a few weeks. And it will really, really make the absolute world of difference. If you are going to join the C-suite, September, awesome time to do it because the market is very, very interesting in September. Companies realize that projects that they thought they would start or had down as a priority haven't been started, haven't been finished. And they're also coming up to a good time of the year to spend budget as well. There are lots and lots of factors in there that just make it a very, very good time to sell to companies if you know how. Fourth reason kind of comes on from that. And actually it's an interesting one and it's a little bit focused around the world politics scene, which is not a phrase that I thought I would ever be saying, but here we are. Politically, the entire world is having elections at the moment. We are just about to have them in the UK. And if, as I suspect, the Labour government gets into power, we will see, hopefully, changes due to different politicians being elected and the different pledges that they stand for. The Labour government in the UK actually have a couple of pledges around climate change and also around menopause action plans that will need to be put in place for companies with over 250 employees. With any new government or any change in political party or any election season and pledges being made, there is money to be spent for organisations, and there are also changing priorities for organisations. Now, again, if you know how to sell, you could do really well. Unintentional rhyme. But if you are already in industries where you are listening to election candidates make pledges, so for example, perhaps you're in the menopause space or the perimenopause space in the UK, and you're thinking, oh, well, that's great because if Labour get in, then companies will just have to use me. Yes, again, I'm going to have to refer you back to if you've got a good sales process, you will win more business. If you don't have a good sales process, you are still likely to lose out to people who do. So please, please, please Don't take it as, oh my goodness, best news ever. New elections are happening and these pledges are being made. I'm going to win loads more business and not really have to change anything. Look at it as, oh my goodness, this is such a great opportunity for my industry, for greater awareness, for greater change and transformation. If I decide to put the work in, I may get a slice of that market share. Okay. Because that is the realistic way to look at it. And whilst I don't ever want to be a Debbie Downer, I also love to be a Rebecca realist. I have to laugh at my own jokes there. That's so embarrassing, isn't it? So yes, with the whole world going through election season at the moment, you will find that there are different political pledges happening all the time. And pretty much every country that you can think of is about to go through some kind of political change. So wherever you are in the world, it is worth looking at your sales process and looking at your industry and whether or not that will be impacted positively by the electoral changes, if any, in the country that you're currently living in. All right. And then finally, the fifth reason you should join the C-suite before September the 1st is that we actually have an in-person day on September the 16th. So we have a C-suite in-person day twice a year. We always do one in September and one in January, and they are only for C-suite participants. It's the only way to get any in-person time with the community, and we host them in central London. Now, if you can't make September the 16th, like I say, it's okay. We hold them twice a year, so you can come to the January one, which is usually at the end of January. And these days are really, really great for people who want to be in a room with other people in the program, who want to network and generate referral networks from other people inside the program, who want to practice their sales skills in a safe learning environment, and generally just have a really fun day with other people who get it. Now, again, if you've listened to recent podcast episodes, there was one that I was particularly inspired by Daniel Priestley, who said, he gave a really good quote on his interview in the Stephen Bartlett podcast about being in a room with other people who are making it happen. I think it's one of those things that's really powerful. People always ask me what will happen on the C-suite in-person day. And honestly, nobody really knows. What happens on the C-suite in-person day stays in the C-suite in-person day. But I kid, it's one of those great rooms to be in, because the most powerful thing that happens outside of us practicing, safe skills or sales skills in a safe learning environment really is the networks that you create. And I think that's the biggest thing about September, is that there are a lot of opportunity to create really great networks with other people inside the program. And to be clear, the people inside the program are absolutely phenomenal. These are phenomenal people doing incredible work with organizations that people who haven't joined the program think, oh, but why on earth would a huge company like X work with a small business owner like me? And these people are out there doing it every single day. I am just phenomenally impressed with the work that they do. We actually had somebody join last week who put a lovely, lovely post in the group and said, you know what? I joined last week. I haven't been through hardly any of the material yet, but I've booked 2 business development calls already. And they'd used one simple strategy from the portal, and it booked them 2 business development calls. And I think that it's one of those things. Yes, the templates, the strategies, the resources inside are absolutely stellar, but you also get to be around other people who are making it happen, who are going out and winning significant business with big, big organizations. And I think that is something that's absolutely huge. If you've ever felt isolated as an entrepreneur, or isolated as a coach or a consultant or a trainer or a dummy service provider or a speaker who is sat there thinking, well, I don't know how people are doing it. Is it really possible? It is. And people in the C-suite are showing that every single week. And I am so phenomenally impressed by the work that they put in, the motivation, their own accountability, buddy systems and groups that they set up. It's all absolutely phenomenal. And it is absolute testament to those people that they're getting the results that they are. If you also want to be surrounded by those people, then obviously buy before September the 1st, because it's going to be a great opportunity to not only get to know those people, but get to meet some of them in person as well. And that is always just a phenomenal opportunity. Now, I know that for some of you listening, it's been a little while since you've maybe clicked on the C-Suite sales page. I do want to spend a minute or so on what you actually get inside the C-Suite. If you decide to join, not only do you get all of those cool things that I've just mentioned around the sprint and the fact that you'll get to implement at a great time of year to sell and the amazing community, you also get access to over 1,500 templates and tried and tested strategies to help sell your services to corporate organizations. And that covers the full end-to-end B2B sales process that actually works and that I have taught to literally thousands of people over the last 10 years. It's pretty cool, actually. Over the last 10 years, I've taught over 28,000 people. 28,000. I mean, I'm basically Taylor Swift on one night of the Eras tour. I don't even know if I can say that on the podcast. Someone's going to report me to Apple or something. They're going to be like, no, Taylor Swift doesn't like you said that on the podcast. You need to unsay it or take it down. It's a lot of people. And admittedly, I may not have impacted as many as Tay-Tay, but the fact remains, a lot of people have been able to make a lot of sales as a result of the tried and tested strategies in the portal and the end-to-end sales techniques and strategies that I teach. You also get monthly group hot seats on Zoom for your first 12 months. So you can listen on Zoom every single month to other people's questions. You can ask questions of your own and get my direct feedback. And that is always really, really exciting. People bring along their metrics, people bring along offers that they're working on and want to price differently. They'll bring along interesting client scenarios to talk about negotiation or give learns for other people in the group. And those are really, really useful calls. And if you can't make one of your hot seats, you can submit a question to me and I will answer it at the beginning of the recording, which is always very exciting. You also get two in-person, or you get access to two in-person C-Suite only days, which is really exciting. Like I say, we hold them in September and in January. They're really, really awesome opportunities to network, generate referrals, all of that good stuff. And you get a one-to-one with me, which is always very exciting. I get very excited about getting my brain on your business. So if you have ever wanted to sit down with me and discuss your business eye to eye, then that is the absolute winner of a bonus as well. You get access to absolutely everything inside the C-Suite self-study experience, and you get access to the live September sprint. Plus you get access to all of that at the current pricing and access to anything else, any other offers I put out first. So if you are somebody who has ever heard about the magical retreats that I hold and hasn't been able to attend because they always get bought out by C-Suiters, you will get first dibs and potentially become one of those C-Suiters who decides that they want to do something like that later down the line. All right. At this point in time, we also do only have one spot left for the C-Suite VIP experience. So if anyone's thinking that that sounds great for the self-study, but that you want to spend 2 days in a room with me, with some fabulous people, fabulous food, and getting my brain on your business to kickstart your entire C-Suite experience, we have one spot left for that. Just to remind you, is 10 people with me, Central London, 2 days on September the 9th and 10th. Again, an opportunity is presenting itself for those of you who like to be in person and who want to spend 2 dedicated days working on your business rather than in your business to build out your entire B2B sales strategy. Then get yourself signed up for that as well. If you are interested in the VIP experience, drop me an email because the link is not public anyway. You can't just randomly sign up for it. And that's to make sure that we curate the room with the right people. But there's some absolutely incredible entrepreneurs who are set in for that on September the 9th and 10th. It's going to be an incredible couple of days. If you are somebody who definitely knows that they want to take action and join the C-Suite this summer, make sure you do it before September the 1st. That's when all of the exciting things are happening. And of course, like I say, there are lots and lots of reasons there that it's a good time to do it now. All right. And not wait. And as always, if you do have any questions about joining the C-suite, about whether it would be a good fit for you or about your business and how it could potentially work, send them to me by email. People always think that I'm going to hard sell them on the C-suite in some way. I'm really not. That isn't my job. My job is to give you the right information to help you make the best decision for you. Please feel free to drop me a line and let me know where you're at in your business, where your current struggles are with your sales process, and ask any questions that you have about the C-suite and how it could help you move your business along. But please, 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 regardless of whatever else you think about today's episode, see this for the opportunity that it is. It really is an awesome opportunity to get a phenomenal experience for the current price in a good market at a good time with excellent sprint tasks and accountability to really build the best business that you can possibly have in Q4. And if that is appealing to you, then you should absolutely jump in. I'll see you later on this month and into next month with some really cool case study episodes and some really exciting things that we'll be diving into to help you build your best B2B sales process in Q4. But like I say, the very best resource for that is absolutely the C-suite. So if you haven't dived in yet, definitely make sure you do. See you in the next episode.